Hello and a very warm welcome back to the channel. And I'm up at the Super 4 layout and I'm going to do a follow-up video to the last upload, and that's where we did some scale speed running tests with the little old Triang Class 08 diesel shunter. Now, subsequent to making the video, I've been reading some of the comments, and a very good point was raised about using the Gauge Master controller, which I've had on the layout now for the last few weeks. So maybe it was a bit unfair trying to get scale speed running with a 1960s loco and having the advantage of a modern transistorized controller. Now that is an entirely fair point, so let's put that right and try it again with a few of these. So I've assembled a group of excellent controllers to do these tests with, so let's have a little look at them. Got the classic Triang P5 on the left, and next one over the RP13, another Triang offering. Now here's one of my personal favourites, the Clipper. I was using these on and off all the time since I've been building this layout. They're a great controller and they have the half-wave feature, so that's good for slow running. Now, I don't know whether many of you have seen this. This is a Meccano controller, the Marshall 3. We're getting to the end of Meccano making controllers with this model, but it does feature a half-wave switch, so I'm pretty sure we'll get some good action out of that. And then a fantastic old relic, the A3. This is just what I use for my 3-rail running. You can't beat them, loads of power output, and they're just fantastic items. So the old Class 08 is still parked at the back of the layout. I've tidied up a few trains, moved them out the way. The Oliver Cromwell that was in the station, I've taken that away, and the little Class L1 with its suburban coaches. So we've got a bit better view now. So I think I'm going to start left to right. So it's going to be the turn of the first Triang controller. So I'm going to pause the video now. I've got a wire here to connect up. I've got an extra power clip. I've removed the wires from the Gauge Master power clip. And what you've got to realise, it's a big layout. You know, we've got plenty of feet of track, so all the power is going in at this power clip. There's no boosters on the far side of the layout, so everything that we do between the two catenary posts is from this power clip. Right, I'm going to get set up and we'll be back with the P5. Okay, well, I've got the first controller wired in, that's the P5, so if you hopefully just hear the loco reversing. Now, one of the things about the test is I'm not allowed to adjust the control knob once it's gone past the catenary post, so I'm just trying to set this up for what I consider to be quite slow running. Timer is on and hand is away from the controller. Right, well, we're just about to enter the station there, just through the vault. About halfway, and I think it's speeding up by itself. Sounds like it, doesn't it? What sort of time are we going to get? Well, that looked like it's just come back to the controller, and I think I'll reverse up ready for the next controller. Or nothing like a Triang controller to be full of power. Look at that go there. Glad we weren't measuring that as a scale speed. Okay, so on the stopwatch, around 28 seconds. So let's just have a quick look at the quick reference chart. Around 28 seconds. Well, 28 seconds is about 14.8. So maybe, just maybe, we got our scale 15 miles an hour. I'll let you make your own mind up, because obviously when you watch the video you'll see if I was accurate with the stopwatch, but not far off, in the ballpark. Obviously not quite as good as the Gauge Master, but there or thereabouts. So that's an encouraging start from the Triang. So let's move on to the big brother now, the RP13. So just give me a second to get the wires connected to the terminals. Okay, well, a bit like the P5, I've got no switches for half wave or resistance or anything. This switch here is purely a direction switch, so forward, reverse. So I'm going to set forward up, and stopwatch is ready. So without any further messing about, let's attempt this. So it's certainly got a lot more controllability on the control knob, so I'm easing up. I think we're going to be able to get it a bit slower. Right, well, I think I've hit a sweet spot there. Certainly not going to... Well, listen to that. There's something going on in this ancient Triang controller, so a bit more research will be needed on that. That's certainly sounds to me like it's almost on half wave, but anyway, we're creeping towards the station and we're already up to nearly half a minute, and we haven't got to the canopy. So the Gauge Master is now history for slow running with these Triang models. I suggest you all perhaps find something else to do for a little while, because we're not getting to that 8-foot marker for a minute, are we? Just emerging from the station and going behind the main building. And look at that, we're nearly up to a whole minute. I mean, if we make it to the marker, this is going to be absolutely extraordinary. Yeah, that's creeping along. That's a super scale speed we've got going on there. Coming up to the 1 minute 20 mark. So over 80 seconds, coming up to 90 seconds. Staggering performance from the Triang RP13. 6 or 7 inches to go to the catenary post, and we've broken through the 1 minute 40. Now, I did stop that a second or two late, I think, so I'll probably call that between, let's call it 143, 144. So let's just switch that to reverse. Plenty of speed available with this control. It's just what we need for the toy trains. Right, well, unfortunately, if I look at the quick reference chart, that's no good at all. So if we say, well, let's call it 100 seconds. Right, I need to just, excuse me, I'll just see if I can find a calculator. So the magic number is 414.414, and I'm going to divide that by 100 to get the scale MPH. Oh, misfire on the calculator. Let's do that again. 414.414 divided by 100, 4.1. So we're down to 4 miles an hour with that RP13, so that's absolutely astounding. So can we beat that with the Clipper? I'll be back in a second to find out. Okay, well, I'm at the Clipper now, all wired in, got the switches set for normal running, response from the loco. Let's try a run just with it on normal settings, so it's about as slow as I can get it. Great controllers, these Clippers. Been using them all through the year I've been doing these YouTube uploads. Started with Clippers on the test layout before I built this Super 4 main layout, and I really like them. I mean, I guess they were the Rolls-Royce of controller in their day. Whoa, we're speeding up a bit. Let's get ready to stop this stopwatch. $36. Okay, let's back it up. Yeah, I think they were quite expensive compared to other controllers, but the H&M Clipper is hard to beat. So let's just have a look. 36.5 seconds. Let's call it 36, around 36. Well, I'm off the chart. So 35 is 11.9, so be in the low 11s. So I wonder how on earth it's going to do when I start moving these switches. So let's move it onto half wave, high resistance, reset the clock. And we're underway. Okay, quite slow speed there. Let's just wait. Are we nearly at the post? Okay, well, I guess you've probably got time to go and get some refreshment. In fact, I'm rather regretting not bringing a couple of little beers up here with me tonight. So, just coming out from the footbridge, 20 seconds, not at the station vault yet. So we're just coming up into the platforms. Job to tell whether it's any slower than the RP13. Just about to emerge from the station, and we've got 47, 48 on the clock now, and by my reckoning we're not far from halfway. So great performance from the Clipper. Really realistic looking movement from the 08 there, going away nicely behind the main station building. So we're up over a minute. Set of points there, a couple of dead sections, so great test of the cleanliness of the loco wheels and the rebuilt Super 4 points. So we are now up to 90 seconds. So this is looking really good, isn't it? Bit of stuttering from the loco now, probably getting a bit fed up with these slow speeds. Just got one set of points to get over. Is it going to break the 2-minute mark? Well, not quite, but that's a heck of a bit of slow running. So I'm just going to slow this down now, back it up. I'm going to need my calculator. So by my reckoning that's 116 seconds on the clock. So let's just get to the old calculator. So we want magic number 414.414, and we're going to divide that by, what did I say that was, 116 seconds. Let's say 116. Well, that says 3.57, so 3.6, around a scale speed of 3.6 miles an hour. So there we go, pat on the top for the old Clipper, and we've got 2 to go. So just give me a second to get the first of these Meccano units wired up. Okay, well, we're at the first of the Meccano controllers. Now, this might be a wave switch. I don't have any documentation, but it does go faster in the left position, so we'll try that. Now, it's really a very difficult control knob, very notchy, hard to feel any fine adjustment. So I think we're probably going to have to go at this speed. And this is quite fast, isn't it? Not a strong start from this Marshall controller. 17 seconds, so let's just reverse this. And while we do, we'll have a look. 17 seconds, 24 miles an hour. That is not quite good enough. Okay, so we're going to flick the switch on the controller, zero the clock. Let's see if we can do a bit better now. Well, it's crawling along, isn't it? But it's not a steady crawl. A little bit jerky, but still it's going all the same, and the clock is showing a very favourable time. Just getting to the station. I mean, if it gets to the end, this is going to be a pretty decent scale speed, but it's making a lot more noise. You perhaps can't pick it up in the video, but it's making a lot more noise than any of the other controllers at this speed, so it would be interesting to see what sort of rectifier this uses. A little bit of jerkiness here and there, but just out of the station now, coming up to a set of points. And over a minute, so definitely a pretty good speed. So here we go, just crossing the point now, and the clock's showing respectable 1 minute 17. So Meccano's holding its head up high here. One and a half minutes, so not too bad at all. It's coming along over that final set of points, and here we are at the catenary posts. Wow, 1:45. So I'm going to back this up. Quite nice. It's just this notchy controller knob lets it down, but yeah, good for slow speed running. Look at this controllability. A nice product from Meccano, and no doubt pretty expensive. So let's just, well, expensive in its time. I think it came in a box of clock parts for £5, so I was lucky to get it. Now let's have a look. What were we there? 1:45. So yeah, that's pretty good. 105 seconds. So let's do the magic calculation. 414.414 divided by, oh, what did I say it was? 105 seconds. 105. Well, that is a lovely 3.9 miles an hour. So far, before we get to the A3, the winner is the Clipper, 3.5 miles an hour. Then in second place, the Marshall 3 by Meccano, 3.9. We've got the excellent RP13 in fourth with 4.1. Now I'm sure with a bit of experimentation times could be changed. They're all pretty similar. And then the P5 managed to do about 15 miles an hour. Here it is, just let me touch that. Great. Okay, well, I'll be back with you for the last controller in a minute. Okay, well, look, lots of power available with this, but no, I don't think we're going to get much slow speed. That's the slowest setting. Of course, these were designed for hugely power consuming motors. Great controller, but we only managed 11.2 seconds, so to be expected really. That's yeah, 38 miles an hour. Oh dear. Well, I still like using it, but lots of power available, as I said, but yeah, just nothing at the lower end of the I think if it had a different resistance in there, I think it would probably work quite well. Right, well, I'll just unplug all of these and then we'll just have a quick summary. Well, if you're listening to this, you're still with us. And here we are, just a quick summary at the end. So let's go from worst to best. So here's the A3. Great, fantastic heavy old controller. I think if there'd have been a little bit more lower end on the resistance, we'd have got a slower speed, but it jumps into life. There's no way it'll go any slower. So 38 miles an hour, not great, but still a fantastic old thing. So anyway, the next four all managed scale speeds. We've got the Triang P5, which scraped in at 15 miles an hour, and considering it's got no features apart from a sort of safety cutout here, no half wave switch or anything, that was a good performance. Then the three main winners, we've got them all in the middle, funnily enough. So the RP13, the Triang, we managed a scale speed of just over 4 miles an hour, which is absolutely astonishing. I do think that would have performed better. I might try it again in my spare time. Great controller. Meccano can hold the head up, the Marshall 3, despite its notchy old control knob, in the half-wave position, which I assume it is. That produced a respectable 3.9 as well. That's fantastic. But of course the winner is the Clipper, and I thought it might be. They're just amazing controllers for their time, and I just can't stop using it really. But the standout one for me, well, there's two really. I mean, the little P5 held its head up, but the standout controller is this Triang RP13. And so impressed with it am I, that I think I'm going to substitute the Gauge Master for a pair of these. Now, I just happen to have, just bear with me, I'm sure the camera's probably not pointing at anything. I just happen to have a second one of these, and as you can see, it's in pretty tidy condition. I mean, I'm sure the one we've used today will clean up nicely, but this one doesn't look like it's actually ever been used. Now let me just see if I can get it out of the box. I don't normally unbox things on my channel, but well, it probably has, because that's a bit of a funny old plug that's been used on it, but that's an old plug. A couple of really nice tails ready to go into a, look at that, that is crisp. So yeah, very, very impressed with these controllers. So I think in the next week or two we're going to be running RP13s on the main upward and downward line, and I'm just looking in the box. There's a little label here to help you correctly wire the plug, and this looks like the instruction leaflet, and that's I think that's a date of 9th of March 1970. RP13, the Westminster power controller, and as you can see there, variable controlled, all outputs protected, and then microfine control operates automatically from half wave rectification built into the printed circuit. Okay, well, there's a bit of gubbins inside that particular controller. I think that would probably bear a bit of investigation, so before I put them on the layout, we'll get back to our old friend here. I think probably a bit of a strip down and clean will reveal what's under the hood, so maybe I'll include that in a video. But for now, to anyone who wondered how an old controller would perform, instead of the Gauge Master. I hope that's answered the questions. I've had great fun trying this on the layout, and I look forward to trying definitely these RP13s on the main line soon. But for now, I want to thank you all for persevering and making it through this video, and until the next video, I'll say goodbye.